All right, everybody, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Definitely. Always excited to uncover some hidden gems. You know, those little things that can make a big difference?
I love that.
Hmm.
And today we're talking about keyboard shortcuts, specifically one that's all about working with data more efficiently. Because who wants to waste time clicking and dragging all day, right?
No way. Especially when you're dealing with tons of data, it can be a real drag.
Exactly. So let's get right to it. What's this magical shortcut that's going to change our lives?
It's all about extending cell selections, and it's way simpler than it sounds.
Okay, hold on. Extending cell selections. For those of us who might be, I don't know, a little rusty, what does that actually mean?
Oh, yeah, good point. Basically, it's just highlighting multiple cells at once.
Yeah.
Like if you want to copy, format, or apply a formula to a whole bunch of cells together, you got to select them first, right?
Right, right. And usually I just click and drag with my mouse.
Yep, and that totally works. But imagine you're working with a massive spreadsheet with thousands of rows. Clicking and dragging, that's going to take forever.
Ugh, yeah. I can already feel my wrist cramping up just thinking about it. So how do we avoid that carpal tunnel nightmare?
Enter our keyboard shortcut hero, Shift plus arrow keys.
Shift plus arrow keys.
Ah.
Okay, that sounds pretty basic.
It is, but it's incredibly powerful. Just hold down the Shift key and then press any of the arrow keys up, down, left, or right, and watch your selection grow.
So like if I wanted to select, say, cells A1 to A10, I just hold Shift and tap that down arrow key 10 times.
Exactly. No more painstaking mouse dragging. Plus, it works in other programs too, not just spreadsheets.
Okay, I see how that could be a major time saver,
Yeah.
especially if you're working with giant data sets. But what if I'm dealing with like 1,000 rows, tapping the arrow key 1,000 times? I don't know about that.
Uh-huh. You're right, that wouldn't be very efficient. And that's where a bonus tip comes in. Add the Control key to the mix. Control plus Shift plus arrow keys.
Ooh, CorelDRAW plus Shift plus arrow keys. Okay, lay it on me. What kind of magic does this unlock?
Ready for this? It lets you jump straight to the last filled cell in that direction.
Ah.
So say your data set has some gaps in it, some empty cells scattered throughout. Instead of scrolling all the way down or clicking and dragging through all those empty cells, you just hit Control plus Shift plus down arrow and boom, you're at the end of your data in a flash.
Okay, now that's what I'm talking about. Talk about a power move.
Right. And think about how helpful this is in real life situations. You're cleaning up data, maybe prepping a report, and you need to select a whole column, but there are those pesky empty cells in the middle.
Been there, and it's so frustrating trying to make sure you selected everything correctly.
Exactly. But with this shortcut, you can select the entire column instantly, gaps and all, then apply your formulas or formatting without breaking a sweat.
And I bet this would be a game changer for things like copy and pasting patterns too, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you could select a sequence of cells, then Control plus Shift plus down arrow to the end, and bam, you've got your pattern copied down the entire column.
Exactly. You're catching on quick. And it's not just about speed either. It actually helps you avoid errors. Think about it. When you're manually selecting a large range of cells, it's so easy to accidentally overshoot or miss a cell, which can mess up your calculations or formatting.
Ooh, it's a good point. I've definitely been there, staring at a spreadsheet trying to figure out why my numbers aren't adding up right.
Huh, we've all been there. But with Control plus Shift plus arrow keys, you're selecting precisely and efficiently every single time so you can be more confident in your work.
So we've talked about how this combo can help us work with whole columns or rows. But what about selecting, a specific block of data within a larger data set?
Oh yeah, totally. The great thing about Shift plus arrow keys is that you can actually combine it with other shortcuts and modifiers to get super granular with your selections. For example, let's say you want to select a rectangular block of data. You could hold Shift and use the arrow keys to select a few rows. Then hold down Creole and Shift and press the right arrow key to extend that selection to the last filled cell in each row. And just like that, you've got your perfectly selected block of data with a few keystrokes.
Wow, I'm starting to feel like a spreadsheet ninja over here.
Haha, that's the spirit. And it's funny, you start thinking about keyboard shortcuts like a secret language for power users. The more you learn, the more fluent you become, and suddenly you're working faster and smarter than ever before.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that even a seemingly simple shortcut like Shift plus arrow keys can have a huge impact on your workflow. It can be a total game changer.
Absolutely. And it makes you think, right? If one shortcut can make this much difference, what happens when you master a whole set of them? It's like unlocking a whole new level of productivity.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What other keyboard shortcut secrets are hiding out there?
Oh, there are tons. But that's a deep dive for another day, maybe.
Deal. We'll have to add that to our list. But for now, I think we've given our listeners a lot to chew on. So to recap, Shift plus arrow keys, your new best friend for extending cell selections quickly and accurately. It saves you time, reduces errors, and can be combined with other shortcuts for even more efficient data manipulation.
And don't underestimate the power of this simple combo. It might seem small, but I guarantee it can make a big difference in how you work with Beta.
Absolutely. So to all our listeners out there, happy shortcutting. Go forth and conquer those spreadsheets. And until next time, keep on learning, keep on growing, and keep on diving deep. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.